And now we're switching to the lessons for startups that we discussed during the past 3 days. The topics that were discovered were analyzed in the letters that you received, speaking to your users. So it's customer development, business models and metrics, and working with co-founders. Users, business models and metrics, and co-founders. I'm not going to speak in detail about each of those topics. I will give a brief summary, and if you have any questions or if you want to receive more detailed information, you can always write to us, write in the comments, and we'll send you all the summary by email. About communication with users, the book that the everyone actually is referring to, and I also should mention it. It's The Mom Test by Rob Fitzpatrick. Of course, it would be great if you could read it. I have not read the whole book, but I have read different summaries, and I've listened to lectures explaining how the system works. So, just to give you a brief summary, the main mistakes that startups make when they try to speak to their customers is actually they ask startups speak a lot and ask a lot of questions about specific product. Instead, what they should do, they should listen more attentively to the problem of their target audience, or their target user, potential customer, and understand like what the problem is, how bad is the problem, whether the user has already the potential customer has already tried to resolve it. If yes, what were the conclusions, what worked well, what didn't work well, what were the drawbacks of these current relevant and existent solutions. So try to understand more about the problem that you're resolving, and actually in this discussion you will be able already to understand the feelings of the customer, the major points, the features. The features, even like you will see what kind of things are important and what kind of things you can implement afterwards in your product. But don't ask, so in order to solve the problem, what kind of application you would like to have. Then they might create very sophisticated thing, and you will start developing it, and in the end actually it's not what they needed. This famous example about Ford, when he said afterwards that if he had talked to his customers in advance, then they would have told that they need a horse, like but super fast horse, and actually without listening to their solutions, he created these conveyors to create cars. So listen to your customers, but do not ask them about the exact features that they want to see, because you can also listen to those opinions, but don't run and don't rush to implement all of them, because then you will be stuck. You will continue developing everything, all this feature constantly, and it's not necessarily something that they really need. The other lesson was about business models and metrics, and here the main outcome, the main summary and conclusion that we can highlight is actually that many startups, they try to follow like kind of standard metrics, no matter what, no matter where they are. But metrics would depend a lot, dramatically, significantly, on the business model that you have. So basically, if, for example, your business model is based on advertising, so you plan to earn on advertising, then in this case for you it's crucial to measure active users, how many people are logged in, for example, how many unique active users you have per day and per month. While at the same time, when you have a business model, for example, subscription based, business model, then in this case it's important to measure not only the engagement and how people like this recurring revenue, but it's also crucial to measure the churn. So the rate of users that stop using your application, and here you would also need actually to segment them to see, for example, those who subscribed like on some certain day or in some certain week, what was their behavior. Those that subscribed on another week, what was their behavior like. And like this you will also understand what actions from your side lead or cause what kind of behavior. Because maybe one week you had a special campaign or special conditions, another week you didn't have it. So like this you will be able to also play with the data and see, analyze the results of your activities. So don't mix up these metrics and try to separate what kind of business model you have, and then following this, based on this you already define the metrics that you need to track. If you need the list of those metrics, just write in the comments. I will send you the whole email with all the details about metrics and how to measure them. And finally, the third lesson was about the teamwork. Actually, it was about work with the co-founder and the information about statistics that, for example, those teams that have two founders or more, they have higher potential to be successful rather than startups where we have solopreneurs. Solopreneurs meaning like a single entrepreneur starting and developing his startup. Here, what's important? At the same time, yes, you have higher possibility of success, but at the same time, you also have higher risk that there will be some conflict situation. And in order to avoid this kind of conflict, any kind of conflict that can occur, like about roadmap, about finance, about building the team, about direction of the marketing activities, direction of your product development, many things that can actually happen between the founders. But there are also solutions, and there are also different methods how you can avoid not just avoid conflicts, but avoid like negative consequences of those conflicts. First of all, I found interesting, even for me, I never heard about this before, attachment style. So I recommend you watching, just Google what it means, attachment style. There are 3 attachment styles. It's secure, avoidant, and anxious person. Find the difference and understand which type you belong to and which type your teammate belongs to. And I'm not going to discuss it in more detail. We discuss it actually in detail in the email. So once again, if you want to receive it, just let me know. And how to deal with the conflict. Once you have it already, you should remember about 4 crucial things. First, do not try to give evaluation to some mistakes. Try to give observations, so facts and like objective things. So you did this happened, this led to this. No need to give your evaluation of the situation. Emotion and thoughts. Don't say that, okay, I thought that, or what you think about this person, or what you actually understood from this situation. You can speak about your feelings, about your emotions, but try to do it also in very precise manner. So you can explain that you felt frustrated or you felt confused because of the situation. What feelings did you get because of this conflict situation? Don't play around with the anger, because this is not a good feeling. Try to explain why you felt so, like frustrated, or why you felt confused. but also behind anger there might be some other things. So try to understand what is behind it. And universal need. So this is number 3. Think number 3 that you should remember about. Universal need. We don't need to speak that I want, I don't know, I want to be updated on every single hour about this and this. So don't try to play around like as a control freak, but instead you can speak that you need to have full transparency in your team. And in this case, this is clear. This is not something that we would discuss. Transparency is necessary for a good team. And point number 4, don't demand things, but instead request things. So request or invite people to collaborate, invite people to reach together some common need and some rational thing that everyone in your team needs and your startup needs actually. This is it. I thank you so much for your attention. I hope that this format really brings a lot of value for you, and I will do my best to create a lot of interesting and indeed informative, valuable content about market trends, about technology, news, and of course about startup lessons that we also share with our subscribers. So I'm wishing you a great week and stay tuned, subscribe to the channel to receive updates. Bye bye.